All right, so I'm here to talk to you about something quite simple. Right? The world is digitizing. We've all been hearing about how many online things we have, about getting away from your phone, but sometimes your phone chases you. I'm here to talk to you, what can you do in this ever-increasing cyber-physical world to stay safe? And all day long, I usually talk to customers about very complicated ways to stay safe. Today, I'm going to give you something simple. So like that sort of first step in that 1,000 journey. And I'll tell you that as I progress. So let's start off with bigger numbers. Not the first step, but let's start with 5 billion. What is this number? This is the amount of breaches so far. Some of you ask, what is a breach? A breach is when a malicious actor is able to access a network, computer, device, and application. That means that somebody's trying to get to something they shouldn't get. And the number right now, and this is just when I took the snapshot, is at 5 billion. So that's a lot. How did we get here? Well, we got here because everything's becoming smart. Everything's becoming interconnected. Any of you ever try to buy a fridge in the last year or so? Fridge, TV, and good luck buying a dumb TV. Any of you that have a car that was purchased after 2014 specifically is a smart car. It's not like a Tesla maybe where you have all the screens and dashboards, but it definitely is a smart car. So everything's becoming interconnected. Everything's getting a chip from your toothbrush to your kettle. Do you need that to be connected? No, but it will be. I'm not the harbinger of doom here today, but I'm telling you, things will get connected. So, connected to what? All right, so the internet. I love talking about the internet because it's a feeling. You walk home, the internet connects to your phone, to your computer, you walk outside, 5G connects you. And this is sort of, it's here. And people think it's all in the clouds. By the way, cloud is another one of my favorite words because it's great marketing. You can say that it's in the cloud sounds better than it's in the data center in Dublin. It's in the cloud, it's here. But I'm going to kind of ruin it for you guys. The internet is a very, very physical space. Very concrete, many cables, just like you have all these LAN cables connecting around your house with your apartment and schools, and the internet is the same. And this is actually where one boat looks like scratching the bottom of the ocean floor, planting internet cable from one continent to the other. And that's an intersection. This part of the French manicure of whoever took that picture, but that is what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be pushing data out to, terabytes, terabits, gigabits from one country to the next. So this picture might be a little overexposed, but you can sort of tell the silhouette kind of it, even just telling the silhouette of our Mercator map over here. Because this map is what I like to call planet chip Earth. It shows you how well interconnected the world is. And of course, what you can see over here is just the underground sea cables. You can't actually see things overground because that's considered national critical infrastructures and governors don't like sharing that. But you can see everything connecting country to country. I use this slide to talk to both diplomats to very technical people, and I can spend hours talking about this. Why? Because you can already see the interrelationship between countries and continents. You can already see that there's a very strong relationship between Europe and North America. It's obvious in trade, but it's also obvious in internet connection. The Suez Canal, very important for our trade. We all saw what happened when one ship went sideways. It's also important for the internet. Fun fact. And then from here you can also see that, for example, there's only very few lines going from South America to the African continent to the European continent, and you can tell a lot. But why am I showing you this? Because it's very physical to me. You might not know about it, but it's very, very physical. Now, in this journey of the internet, I also like to introduce people to the unsung hero of the internet, the server. Many people have never seen this before. You've probably only heard it in movies. If cybersecurity, I'm hoping some of you know the concept. It's been popularized by any James Bond movie, Jason Bourne. It's sort of one of these IT things that's been booming. But the server is the unsung hero of the internet. Why? Because this is where you store a lot of data, this is where you store processing power, and it's usually kept on all day long in a data center. I'm not even going to try theatrics here to see who's been in a data center. But data centers are, one person in the crowd. Data centers are the heartbeat of the internet. This is basically what keeps the internet going. They're usually very boring rooms, very dry rooms, and very loud rooms. And this is basically what keeps things going. The reason you have Netflix today is because of data centers like these. And then of course, another party people don't really know about is the Amsterdam Internet Exchange. Internet exchanges are like post offices. I'm going to send a package from here, an email from here to Singapore. It goes to an internet exchange. It's kind of like the post office, sorting office. Where's it supposed to go? And then it'll go that way. The biggest one in the world in terms of connectivity and partnerships is the AMSIX. Dutch people don't tend to know that. Second one is the German one. Then it goes on to your ISP, your internet service provider, whatever company you're paying to get internet on your phone or at home. And then it goes on to your advanced Netflix machines. And what I explained to you right now is an oversimplification of what we call in the tech industry the OSI model of the different layers of the internet. So why am I explaining this to you? Again, not the harbinger of doom. Everything is getting connected. More things are getting connected. And there is something you can do about it to stay safe. So you've probably heard of all these buzzwords like smart cities, smart home, smart health, essentially devices being connected into each other and talking to each other. Why do we want this? We want this because cities can now plan better. Specifically, for example, for transport. How is it you can optimize routes? Medicine. The device that I'm wearing right now, I just heard 2 days ago that it saved the life of a friend of mine because it told his partner he was having heart problems. And it will develop a lot more data for you and about you that will probably make you live a little longer and have a better life and livelihood. Production. Companies want data because they want to produce goods cheaper so that you can consume them cheaper. And everything's getting cheap. Everything's becoming smarter. I love to reference this that Tesla, which of course is a car company to most people, you talk to them, they're not a car company according to them, they're a software company according to them. And working in the Nordics, I know it's credited for the whole of Europe, it's the Nordics. In the Nordics, a lot of car manufacturers do not see themselves as car companies anymore. They see themselves as software companies, so it's smart. Everything's becoming smart. And the more I hear smart, unfortunately, I hear the word vulnerable. And vulnerable means potential breaches and risks and all that kind of stuff. Also, there are more people online. I love showing this. This shows like an exponential boom in the last 20 years. If you polled a group of Dutch people 20 years ago about having a smartphone, most people would say no thank you. Maybe 25 years ago. You ask the same question today and it's a ridiculous question. Just think about that. In only 25 years, this incredible boom. And this data is only until 2016. Just imagine what it is like today. And you can also see Asia not giving it a rest either. The size is very impressive. This means you're generating more data. 20 years ago, maybe it was your email, your address, your gender. Now, it's your geolocation. What devices have been checked? What are the last websites you've checked? What devices have been connected with you? What people are connected with you? What did you shop on your credit card? And how can we sell that? Here's a little saying from Silicon Valley that I think is worth understanding why they collect all this data. Something's free, you're the product. Just let that sink in. So that's why it's better to collect all of this data. And as a philosopher from Brooklyn once said, mo data, mo problems. That's why I'm here. To tell you guys, what can you do? So, we started with a big number, 5 billion. Let's talk about 100. All of you have accounts. 100 is the average amount of passwords that one person has. I was also skeptical until I checked my password vaults. I encourage you to all do the same. 100 is the amount of passwords you guys all manage. So how do you stay safe in the cyber-physical world? I'm not going to sell you an entire paper tiger, but it gives you very, very solid advice. And it all starts small, and it starts with your password. Why? I hope people in the back can see this. What you're seeing over here is a file, or a snippet of a file, of 30 million passwords that have been leaked online. This is a snippet. This is around 5,000 passwords. If you see your password here, you have a problem. Just making sure you guys understand that. There are bigger files, because hackers, and I'm using that term very gratuitously here, are very helpful people. The minute that something is leaked online, the minute you guys hear that something is leaked or, oh, that this was hacked, they're gathering your password, they're gathering your username, and they're putting it together because they are actually very resourceful. And this is actually a very small file. What you're seeing over here is part of that organization. You guys have probably heard the term script kiddies. Children, or actually people who just go online and are able to hack stuff. They're using something called Kali Linux. Kali Linux is an operating system like Apple OS or Microsoft, designated to do security testing. And when you can test something, you can break something, just to put that into perspective. And what you're seeing over here is the actual drop-down menu of the things you can do, from reverse engineering to web application analysis, wireless attacks, and password attacks, on the theme of passwords again. So you guys know those old school briefcases, and to all the extent but they still uses one, where you can just go through the numbers. So imagine your password is 8 digits, 8 characters, and somebody has 30 million combinations they can run through your password. It's only a matter of time before somebody can crack it. And here are the different attacks that you can have. I'm not even going to go into them, but the fact that they have names and logos tells you a lot. So, I'm here to give you a message. So, no complicated stories. It starts with your password. Your password is like the front door mat to your house. You ignore it, you step on it, you walk in. So here's some 5 tips for you guys on how to stay safe online. Imagine me being in front of the aircraft, sort of telling you where the emergency exits are. I'm going to sort of tell you what are the 5 ground rules. 1, change all your default passwords. Default passwords on your router, your modems, any accounts that you get on your car, anything. Your fridge will once have Wi-Fi. Change that password too. 2, longer than 8 characters. Make sure that you don't have short passwords. Now, a lot of agencies, organizations are good at this, but just keep that for your own personal stuff too. Complicate them. If your password is in a dictionary, never use it. Complicate your passwords. Do some stuff to it. Make it personal and make it more complex. 4th, have different passwords for different things. You're shopping on Zalando, have a password for that. You probably don't care. But the minute you're doing your banking, you probably should care. And make those 2 different. And I understand that this is going to complicate it because you're going to have to remember many passwords. But that's better for you and that's simpler for you in this journey. And the last one, which is actually, as a cybersecurity expert, is the one advice I give everybody religiously. 2-factor authentication. 2FA, as it's known by the cool kids. Just go on any account, on any device, on anything you have, and enable 2-factor authentication. It basically means, they'll say, okay, you're trying to log in, but is it you though? And I actually have a theory that passwords will be all gone together, and this is actually going to be the future of cyber, but that's for another conversation. So, here's another public service announcement to you guys. Anybody ever seen this website before? Have I been pwned? For those of you who don't know, pwned is a gamer way of saying haven't been owned, because the P and the O are very close to each other. It's essentially, have you been owned by someone online? Has your email address been compromised? So I encourage everybody here today, if you walk away with one thing from this talk over here, is check out your email address. Has it been compromised? If it has, you know what to do. It'll tell you what has been compromised and how many times it's been compromised and what has been compromised, more importantly. So that's the message I want to leave with you guys today. So start small in this journey. It's going to be long, so please strap in. Everything's going to become digital. Everything's going to have a password one day. Everything's going to talk to each other one day. Things that probably shouldn't. That's another conversation. But start small, start with your password. Thank you.